What's up, YouTube? This is your girl Foxy Brown, and I am coming to you once again from the legendary house of Shay. Now, this is my first time being here in a long time. This is the first time I've ever recorded on my webcam, so this feels a little weird. But I'm going to give it a shot because I also would like to try to go live with my webcam. I don't like not being able to move around probably as much, but anyway, I mean, I can move around, but I mean, it's different with the phone. So anyway, today is April the 20th. I haven't recorded a video in quite some time. I think in February I was doing the Black History Month challenges, and then I started to get sick, and I was pretty bad there for a while. I got sick, and then we found out more and more about the virus being in New York, where I work in Manhattan. So, um, there was a lot of talk about people getting sick, and the governor, began to make moves because at that time the president was still saying, things like it was a hoax because this was like February, and we kind of knew. My daughter was really up on it because she had been following it, as it was traveling across the globe. And at first I thought, well, maybe it'll be bad, but it was a lot worse than we even thought. I have been home, working from home since the beginning of March. If you hear anything over there, there's construction. They're building new houses across from me, so sometimes they're kind of loud and I have the window off. But anyway, yeah, so I began to get, well, first I was sick like around the holidays, and then right after Christmas, and just as I was about to go back, because I was out for 3 weeks. I usually try to save my days, for the end of the year, because I really love being off, and I love Christmas, so I love that time of the year. And so I was sick then, but then I recovered, but not like fully, and then it came back really, really bad. Just the whole time leading up to when I was out, when I left work, it was just crazy. There were rumors. No one really knew what was going on, and I was feeling worse and worse. I had people at work who thought it was, it was over. People were exaggerating. Other people were like, "This is it." So, I was probably somewhere in the middle, but as time went on, I, really began to listen more to my child, and I think it was when Governor Cuomo decided that he was calling out the National Guard for New Rochelle, which is just outside of the Bronx. Then I really began to get scared. I remember one day going into the city and thinking of that movie I Am Legend, and and just all those type of movies where people are stuck somewhere, or they waited too long to get out, and then you see the army, put what do you call it, like barbed wire fence, and then you're stuck. And something like that just, it just went through my mind. And then I really, and then when the governor made that decision, things were just kind of really moving quickly. We had a firm event, which the firm I work for, they have a family day every year. So this year we had tickets to Wicked. Not only did we have tickets to Wicked, I had orchestra. I mean, I think it was in like the second row, orchestra B for Wicked. Wicked. My daughter and I, we love the theater, and Wicked is a really, really hard ticket to get. I mean, you can get tickets to Wicked, but up, the horrible seats. But the good seats are already taken, or they're super expensive. So I've been wanting to see Wicked for quite some time. It was, probably one of my top three choices on Broadway right now, and for a while outside of Hamilton and The Lion King, which I saw both. And so anyway, we were scheduled that Sunday because my daughter and I think the week before that was when we went to the opera. Yeah, because I think that was like Valentine's week. It was like the couple of days before, I think the day before Valentine's Day or something. I don't know when Valentine's Day was. It seems like many years ago. But we went to the opera to see Porgy and Bess. Let me tell you something right now. If that had been canceled, I would have been heartbroken because not only, we were looking forward to it, but those tickets are expensive. And I don't think they're giving people money back. I think they're trying to say things like, I don't know about this. I don't know. I don't know if they're giving people money back or saying that they can, see, performance, but something like the opera, they may not, have, scheduled for that again. You just would miss out. So we were really lucky because those tickets were like $2 something each, but we had a lovely evening. I'm gonna, talk about that another time. I'm gonna do a video because I had pictures and stuff, and it was in video, and it was awesome. So I believe it was like, I guess it's like the next week or a couple of weeks later was when we were supposed to go to see Wicked. With the whole firm, and what they do, they will like sort of buy out a theater, and they do it once a year. And I think the last thing I saw, and it's for families, the last thing I saw was School of Rock with my daughter and her friend. And the last couple of years, she's been away, so it wasn't really something like it was Frozen one year and something else. So, but this, are you kidding me? She was so happy. She was like, I'll, crawl to the city to see Wicked. So that was the deal. Then I think it must have been the Friday, and it was so crazy because I was like, oh, what are we gonna wear, and I'd taken off. I work Sunday night through Tuesday morning, so I work 4 days. So I'd taken off that Sunday night, and I had planned to have a really nice dinner with her, and to, after the show, because it was a matinee, like to go to, well, like a late, early dinner, and to do some shopping in the city. Well, that Friday, I didn't even realize that somebody texted me and said that it was canceled because due to the coronavirus. So at that, I was like, what? And they were like, that's when it was kind of new. I was like, well, what if you want to take your chances? We didn't really know how bad it was. And then I think like that Monday or Tuesday is when like the NBA was closed. The NBA decided they were going to close down. And now, meanwhile, now I'm starting to really get sick. I'm coughing, and I have like really like a low-grade fever. But this is really something I don't know. I guess you can say I'm ashamed to say. I am a person that kind of goes to work sick. Probably mainly because, being a single mom, I always wanted to keep my days for my daughter if she needed me. So sometimes, where, maybe someone else would say, I don't feel like going in, I would just go in because, like I said, I would have to save my days for, in case she needed me for something, So anyway, so like I said, I was getting sicker. I'm coming in, now I'm coughing. Now you're coughing and people are kind of looking at you. They're like, what is wrong with you? I take the bus and then I walk, which was really a good thing. I'm glad that last year before last, year before last, I started to walk. And before that, I used to take another subway or a bus, or I would take a taxi. It's 10 blocks. It's not, it's not a bad, it takes, it's like about 15-minute walk. So that, who knows, that could have saved me from something, because being on the subway is just, you're like this because it's in the morning, and So I think that week, towards the end of that week, um, they were saying things like, we may be, go into a situation where we'd be put, on lockdown, and shelter in place. That I heard that word. And my daughter, had been saying this for a while, so she had a list of things, and, I kind of like brushed it off. So then I was like, let me see that list. Maybe she knows what she's talking about. And so we wanted to make sure. My mom lives about 45 minutes from us, which I hate, and I wish she just did not live that far, but she decided she wanted to live that far. I don't know. So we decided that we were going to get her some water and food and things like that, because I didn't know that I was going to be out, but I knew that, like, once I start working during the week, it's kind of hard for me to get out there, because because my week has already started, and I'm, sleeping, during the day. So, we went to buy her water, and I got some supplies for her. And I remember, I will not forget this, because they brought out these huge cans of Lysol spray. And it's the one, and I turned it over and I saw where it says, this will kill, human coronavirus. So I got one can for my mom. And I remember saying, oh, I'll come back to the store, because I always get stuff like that. I mean, I'm like, who would have known that was, that we're going to get no more. So I got her that. I got her hand sanitizer, because I had lots of hand sanitizer from my daughter's dorm hauls that I had done last year, year before last, this year, whatever. I always have, extra things like that. So, but this time I just got one, and I didn't have any more Lysol. So spray, disinfectant spray. So we left my mom's house. Literally 2 minutes after we left, she called and said she had passed out. So I was like, oh my God. So, we came back, we called the ambulance. She went to the hospital, and they wound up keeping her for a few days, just like to monitor her. And, but, they said that she was dehydrated, but they also wanted to check some other things. So, thinking back at this, I'm like, and where my mom lives, there's a lot of seniors. It's a really big senior community. There are a lot of adult, 55 and older, condos, townhouses, things like that. So that's the community she lives in. And, they're active seniors. They're not, like assisted living. But I think there are some assisted living places there too. So, automatically we're alarmed, because in the beginning we were told coronavirus, was something that would attack people of a certain age. So, of course we were really afraid about that. When she got out of the hospital, I wanted her to come here, but she didn't want to come here. And then plus by that time, by the time she got out of the hospital, I was really sick. So no one knew what was going on. Okay, so that was that Saturday. Monday I go to work, and as the weekend goes on, when I went to the hospital to actually see my mom, when I got to the ER, the nurse said to me, she said, "You have a cold?" She's like, "I can hear you have a cold." So they made me put on a mask. That was the first time. And then they only let me go back there. They only go out one at a time, so my brother couldn't go. Then, she was in the hospital. They admitted her. I came the next day. Same thing happened. We have a hospital, you have to check in to the hospital. So they gave me another mask. And I went to see my mom. I think by 2 days later was when my niece was there, and they kicked everybody out, and they said no more visitors. So it was just crazy. So she was in the hospital. And so Monday I go to work, and I'm really like feeling horrible. Sunday night. So Monday came, I had a meeting, a telephone conference, and I was like, what is going on with me? I mean, I had a fever. I was feeling really bad, and I think I went back to work that next day. And then the firm that I work for sent a memo out that if you did not feel well, You could take off the rest of the month of March, like no questions asked, or you could ask to work from home. So because I am, you know, I'm a supervisor and I, am responsible for my shift, and plus it was review time. So we were in the process of writing the performance evaluations for staff. So, I didn't want to just, I couldn't just leave that hanging because that's a huge responsibility. That's how, people get their compensation. So I didn't want to mess up anybody because I have a great, great team, and, everybody deserves to get their money because, I will want my money too. So meanwhile, so anyway, set that up there, no worries. I started working from home. Then I went to the doctor. Oh my God. So go to the doctor, and when I went to the doctor, it was still very new. My doctor didn't really know what to do. She, at that time they thought there were a whole list of things that meant you had, say you had coronavirus. She said that I did have a fever and I had bronchitis. So she gave me medication for that. She said, I don't know if you should be tested. She was like, I need you to call the Department of Health. So, you know what? I'm actually going to stop the story there because that part needs its own, it really needs its own video. But suffice it to say, when you hear the officials on television say that everyone who needs a test can have a test, that's not true, especially about 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks to a month ago, that was absolutely not the case. It was just amazing that what went on in this area, the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area. I think something that people don't understand is how densely populated this area is. How many people, millions of people fit into this small area. I'm in the suburbs, but there's still a lot of people here. New Jersey is like the third smallest state, but I think it has the 10th highest population. So you're thinking, look at those big, huge states you have like out in the Midwest and wherever they are. And, we literally have more people crammed into this area than these big states. So where you have a lot of people, you have a fight for resources. And it was crazy. It was nuts. It was nuts. It's still crazy. Yesterday I went out for the first time in 3 weeks, so the testing thing was even before that. So, oh my God. Anyway, so I don't want to make this too long, but I do want you, because maybe I'll just say part 1 and then part 2 or whatever, because it's been a lot since I've been here. I have been working from home, like I had said in my nails video, because I did my nails. Super grateful for that. I know mostly all my friends who are not in law, like I am, or that are in maybe education or healthcare, and the healthcare ones are putting their lives at stake. Everyone else is pretty much, so many people, other people, they're lost their jobs or they're laid off and they're looking for unemployment, and it's crazy. So I'm super grateful for still having my job, for still getting paid my full salary. Hopefully that will continue. We're prayerful. My team and the rest of the firm we've really rallied around each other, and we are still providing the same type of service. And it's a little awkward because it's at home, but we've kind of gotten into a groove. So we hope to keep it this way until something else happens. But so far for us, it's so good. Anyway, I will be back probably in a few minutes because I want to keep the video like 20 minutes. So once again, this is your girl Foxy Brown. This is the legendary House of Shay. I want to kind of take you guys around this room. I just did like 1 or 2 things since you guys have been there. I did put some of the pictures up. I have my coffee bar. It's not really going to be set up that way, but you know, and I got a new chair. Remember I told you I was on a new chair? I got rid of that old ugly pink chair, and I still have this other chair over here. Anyway, guys, I will be back later. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will be back, and thank you very much. Peace and blessings.